Okay, so I'm gonna read you a little bit of what I wrote about greed. Uh, Greed is all the rich concerned, without it such we not served, needing something else to happen in this boredom to dampen. Superior, naively commemorated, surrounded by the to same related, divided, now manipulated, not to relate, rising at constant rate without constraint. They can discover all potential. The faculty of God is existential. Jesus assisting, all is his only deed. Only opulent can do this indeed. To take heaven for all, not uh, to not ache. Only here, worthiness I undertake. In Serbian, strangely to this I nod. Wealthy is derived from a word God, and education only holds humanity for its derived from word integrity. Uh, in position to take a decision, to make a decision, but without honorable vision. Intellectuals you can always buy. They manufacture a reason why. Art of making money, truth glorify, not try for that they cannot buy. Do not try for that they cannot buy. Education implies but certain training. It not identifies with understanding. Learned never meant thinking, nor will they save us from sinking. Learned punchlines but mention usually not fitted the situation, unconvinced, teaching but guards, sustains in them retards, not gods. Without sloppiness theirs they drool. With sloppiness theirs they drool. School only a fool could so rule. Not imprisoned by power they hold, but what they do with the reward. All exaggerated is in a deviation quickly enough to other invasion into a rigid that rules such preset creed of dread that started the fad. History conquest Hitler's shown in it we must know of Napoleon more on nihilistic ways engraves on that life takes, not life saves. Leaving Pancho Villa tomb without and Robin Hood to fiction mount. What intrigues that hero believes? It is he that life for another gives. Thought ideal higher to death led, more than mad, other, as if other they had, that never looked to a history book, yet from the crook cold glance took. Now still, kako? Now still is Now still is another opportunity while killers are offered immunity. By deed trying to state our case that against 1,000 raise. This is education none receives. Hear these protested grieves. Heroes these protect that grieves. This is education and receives heroes these protected grieves, or by the secret sense out of trance we find the true provide guidance. Polluted by virtuous cheer that wins, yet do we really know what it means, while rich to their name fame engrave, as if rest not know how to behave. Without wisdom is there freedom. This, I thought, was my kingdom. Smallness of this town I found by the culture in the background. History of it so never did speak, most that did stick was a trick. Truth is lonely friend I do defend, in it pieces I intend not to invent. This is not really about greed. It's, yeah, way back. Yeah, greed is way back. Pulling one way or other in blender, rendered to madness, not surrender. In worlds rampant that all could do without accountability it came to. Clutching here that we keep not, another on a spot we be odd. Nothing it meant, all it meant, meaningless intent, well defend. Perhaps our freedom is but caution in seeing all in their disproportion. One that do not truth of us, one that do not truth of us doubted, one that did not truth doubt. Fool thought we when rich they a fool thought when rich they've done it. Truth of us doubted, wanted truth of us doubted. Fool thought when rich they'd done it. Still here, fitting into all this well. One like you it made to compel God's work they made or cripple. This is from Cohen. When all is revealed, it was so simple. Cripple. God's work they made or cripple. In bulk feeds that else will elude, food for earth sets another mood. Yet in their heart the Lord never risen, leaving poor to a misery a prison. As the rich on most will impose, until jobless turns to rebellious, will ever end the need to protest all interest for only all invest for only their interest, to cheap labor bringing suffering by methods machines dangling without thought to their hand, without thought is their hand, in impression that are so grand. Yet amid head and hand yet amid head and hand is hard. This is a quotation. By pace of the craft gone is the art. Fight for muscle need no more, yet world left without allure. That could do most our worst. I still stand on hope's lonely post, wondering still can else be intent other than to vengeance compliment, wondering still of all we are able, before us stapled is their label. They never turn without concern, they're without concern, without duty to beauty on yearn. Means ought instill responsibility, yet else considered is nobility, that mindless just leans to greens, the opulent grips other set of sins. Below excess loveless lays blame, that human race puts to shame, while hungry for leftovers plead, fulfilled is another useless need, a ruler needed to summon an effort, to whom out of delight pour retort, yet for their gift, for their advice, all we need not sacrifice to suffice. To all you must give a little bit, only to see what they do with it, yet looking to deplete, stress, exert on those unheard, in story absurd. It is not bad that riches brought, as long as stingy you're not. Not all expensive beautiful is, not all beautiful expensive is. Changing all at these stages as the world by us changes, none of its own, good or bad, to extremity by greed led, else to take not meant as much as when yours else here touch. Here the facts become neglected, yet craving to for it be respected. On sorry, on height of their empire to rely, yet such never to sky any does tie. Rich erated for currency tolerated, it for wit and charm compensated. Today it's expensive to be pensive, rather defensive, built walls extensive. Rich atop all by strength influences, indeed rule so rarely by any sense. Ignorance needs not be explained, with traces of destruction all reigned, while only taking place of another, that something new offers rather. As riches left us in such a snare, here without another care, that made us forget all other, we rather with else not bother. In meaningless brief to find relief, played by some preset belief, presented to be without a crack, yet picture true, whole did lack, influenced by only this business, language of other to dismiss, helpless, abandoned, leave in debris, punished for this will come to be. Into this imitation of life lured, as 5 Coca-Colas rule the world, disappointment to now dismiss, they'll be first to tell how that is. With dreams standing against reality, ignorant never witnessed the fatality, as by secret vote to piss on poor, just to see how much they endure. I not participate in reign of the tame, world will not drive me insane. The dream of some still richer is, after all it's always more than that is. As poor word that never bother, nor step make to please another. Point was not to get, but to reach. Animal in I sacrifice, or to it switch. Hindered are diligent to attend, never made as much as idle spend. Glad to keep pace with lifestyle mad, with idea from a fairy tale read. As children never gratified, enrolled, selfish and uncontrolled, none hold, that with such sleep pissed awake, in 50s you yet nothing of them make. For a minute we can accept such, yet in long run wanting too much. I pass unnoticed, none I realized. They but craved that I despised. To whom all else such headache is to all a disease. Perhaps all are irreversibly screwed, yet nothing we are if hope we elude. Develop wrath not to be bothered, so that again I become not startled. Between extremes all, as if trapped, picking either strapped or abrupt. In it nothing holds, strength stood, in it truth most comes to elude. Even for that we found in blood, only on occasion represents God. Million options offered, time span. No, he's not about blood at all. This was mistakenly written. Million options offered time span. We become turned into only offered time span. Turned into only one. As anybody's need, I never read this before, of anybody's need inconsiderate. Here, marking red carries the dead. I had to listen, a waiting voice other, with your rewards never to bother. Rebirth or bust, I was that speaks. As cigarette flick all such tricks. Rules parasites made immense, forever living on an else's expense. Much else given for but a quirk, for it too hard we worked. They are in the right position, but utterly without disposition. As at the face of death I stare, how can I then with you compare? This goes on and on, but I'm too tired.